Yes, now as Haley Fazackerley joins us now. He is president and CEO of Entergy Mississippi. And Haley, we appreciate your time this morning. Did you wake up and breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief that the overnight hours were not worse than they were?
Well, other than my wife elbowing me because our power was out, yes, I did. But
oh goodness,
no. I am much relieved. We're still not out of it. We still have a tropical depression going up. We serve all the way up to the Memphis border, so we are continuing to monitor. But I will tell you, I went to bed last night quite concerned about South Mississippi, there, Walthall County, up to Pike County areas that we serve. And while we do have some outages there, I'm pleased that the storm did weaken, and a lot of our reliability work is showing out there too. So I'm pleased with what we're seeing so far.
In the areas where there are outages, and right now it looks like, based on the Entergy website, there are a little over 10,000 customers that are currently affected. Is this mostly from tree limb damage? And, I mean, we weren't in a great position in terms of a lot of dead trees and maybe a lot of dead limbs coming down on power lines. Is that the biggest issue that you guys have faced?
That's right. We do a lot of work to trim our right-of-ways, but as you're aware, the Forestry Commission issued their forest mortality report earlier this year and estimated over 12.5 million dead trees, and a lot of those are in southwest and central Mississippi. So we are seeing trees and limbs outside of our right-of-way that are falling. And so, but soon as the winds get out of there, we're going to get our assessments done and get to work to get customers restored as quickly as possible. We've got to monitor it as it gets to North Mississippi there, but we're ready to respond. We have over 1,500 workers we have brought in, line workers, vegetation workers, damage assessors. So, and we're going to work now in South Mississippi. Now it's cleared that area, and we'll do so as it moves up I-55.
And certainly, Haley, those are kind of the unsung heroes, whether it's a minor weather event with minimum outages or a major weather event where you're talking about massive outages all across your service area. Those are the men and women who, I mean, sometimes we don't realize how much we rely on our electricity and our energy until we don't have it, but they're the ones that get it done and get it back as quickly and safely as possible.
Yes, they're special people. They work hard. They were well-trained. These are very dangerous jobs, but they know what to do and to do it safely. We ask the public to be safe. Stay away from those down power lines. Stay away from our crews. They don't need distractions. Help them do their jobs and help them so we get you restored as quickly as possible.
Visiting with Haley Fazackerley. He is president and CEO of Entergy Mississippi. Haley, give us a little bit of an idea of what the lead up is for you and your team in the days preceding a weather event like this, whether it's a hurricane or a projected line of thunderstorms that might spin off tornadoes. What's the preparation process like?
Well, each one is different. With hurricanes, you have an early warning system, right? You see it forming in the Gulf or the Atlantic, and we're tracking it. We have our own meteorologist service that's helping us get ideas where it's going, and as it gets closer, we know. And so we work with our incident response team. We can start to see the track of the storm, what assets and what number of customers are in that area. And from that, we have modeling that tells us, okay, we're going to need this many line workers. We're going to need this many vegetation workers. We have to start to decide staging sites. We're moving armies here, so you've got to find places where they're going to sleep, how we're going to feed them, how we're going to park trucks, refuel them, restock them. We've got to bring poles, transformers, have laydown areas. So a lot of work goes into this before it. And so when it hits, we're ready to hit the ground responding to it. The restoration process is very methodical. We have to first, people are like, why aren't the trucks out there? We cannot put bucket trucks up in 30-mile-per-hour winds. So the damage assessors are out there seeing what the damage is. You have vegetation blocking roads, so we got to get vegetation workers to clear that debris, to get it off the power lines, to remove the broken poles, and then they can come in and move more quickly to get power on. So it's a lot of planning, a lot of preparation, and that helps us to respond more quickly to get the power back to flowing to the homes and businesses we serve.
And you said just a second ago that, a hurricane gives you a little more advance warning, and that's just for immediate staging. But when you talk about all of the resources necessary to pull that off, that's not something that you plan for in a week, right? I mean, there's that isn't that part of what you as a company do big time advanced planning so that you're ready to respond when these things happen?
That's right. We have a team that this is their job. They focus on year-round. So we have to make sure we have inventory, enough transformers, poles in our inventory. And as you know, we have sister companies in Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas. So we're a large system. Our sister company in Louisiana, who saw the brunt of this storm, is dealing with it. All of that, we learn a lot together. And we're recognized in the industry as one of the best. Unfortunately, we get a lot of practice at it. As you know, you follow sports. The best football teams have the best resources, the best talent, and do a lot of practice so they can succeed. We do the same thing and to execute these plans. And we do that by working together and having great people, great plans, and great resources to execute.
Haley, how does the sharing of resources work? I think most of us have been on the interstate somewhere along the way, maybe in a part of the state or even another state where, no effect has happened from the storm. And then we see one of those convoys of Entergy trucks, whether it's bucket trucks or service trucks. And, there might be 20 of them, and they are headed in the direction of where a storm has hit. How does that get coordinated, and who decides who goes where and when?
So first, we have our own instant response team, and they coordinate. We can share among our operating companies. So like right now, our sister company in Arkansas, Entergy Arkansas, is loaning us resources. Okay. We all have our own embedded contractors, such as Davini, B&B, Chain, Irby. People see those trucks on. Those are contractors who support those. Some of those are baseload contractors. But then, beyond that, Richard, we're a part of the Southeastern Electric Exchange. Those are investor-owned utilities like Entergy, Southern Company, Duke Energy, AEP, these other corporations. And we have pre-existing agreements to loan help to each other during major events. So as we see the size of the storm, when we see, we're going to need more than just our baseload contractors and our sister companies, we get on phones, and there's a group that organizes that among the utilities, and they're ready to loan us help. So we let them know, hey, we're going to need X number of line workers or vegetation workers, and they will loan those workers to us, and we get them in here. So we had 75% of those resources in the area yesterday ready, and the others are staged right on the boundaries ready to come in.
So you said that's investor companies. So we're talking about the really big power companies with that cooperative agreement. How does it work with the locally owned cooperatives as well? Do you lend out resources, and do they lend a hand too when that's necessary, or is that a kind of a separate entity?
That's a separate arrangement. So your cooperatives, they have similar type arrangements with other cooperatives.
Okay.
And it deals with it's just a different arrangement. They receive a lot of assistance from FEMA. Investor-owned utilities are prohibited under the Stafford Act to receive FEMA assistance. So that makes it kind of complicated where we can set up contracts since they can sometimes receive that federal assistance.
Makes a lot of sense. In terms of the outages in Mississippi, everybody, if they have lost power, they want to know, when's my power going to be back on? What's the best way for people to get updates on progress? And do you have any sort of an estimate for the outages that exist, how long it takes to kind of get that back online?
So our damage assessors are entering the fields now, and once they get out there and do assessments, we will be able to start to post ERTs, estimated restoration times, on our website. So if you loaded the app, My Entergy app, you can view outages, and you can go right down to your neighborhood. You'll see the green and red lines. And right now, it will not be showing those estimated restoration times because we've got to do the assessments. I'm sitting in our command center right now in Jackson, and we can also remotely see where problems are. And as debris is cleared off lines, there could be just a limb laying on a line right now or a tree that just needs to be knocked off, and we can get those circuits repowered. We're seeing that happen already right now. But we got to get the winds to die down before we can get buckets in the air. So right now we're doing damage assessments. As those are done, visit My Entergy, load that app, or go to our webpage, view outages, and you can hit the little icons, and it'll start to show you the estimated restoration time for your street and your neighborhood.
Haley, really appreciate your time this morning. All the best to those who are out in the field working. We're thankful for their service and thankful for all that Entergy does to help power Mississippi.
Thank you, Richard. We thank our customers for their patience. Please stay safe out there. Stay away from down power lines. Report those to 1-800-ENTERGY. And thank you for this opportunity to speak to our customers.
Haley Fazackerley, President and CEO of Entergy Mississippi. Again, the website, entergy.com, where you can get that My Entergy app. You can also follow them on Facebook and Instagram and X. More of the Gallo Show coming up after this on SuperTalk Mississippi.